imagine leaving the Middle East, thinking, okay, we're going to get a better future for our children, come to America, the land of the free.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, the Twin Towers, terror attack. Thousands of people are dying and smoke everywhere. My dad was just like, did we just come to another war? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And then we were raised in New York. Both my parents worked 3 jobs. It was insane. We barely even seen our parents. They were working. And then me and my older sister pretty much raised our brothers and sisters.
Live, another episode of Adversity Kings. We have special guest Tami Chaimov.
Chaimov, yes. You said it right.
I was like, I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna add in my little Hebrew training that I've been doing over the last couple months. So let's talk life. Let's talk. I know we already started talking about where you were born and raised and your ability to speak 3 languages. So what languages do you speak?
Hebrew, Russian, and English.
Hebrew, Russian, and English. Is there a specific dialect of Russian, or is it just a very general?
General Russian.
Yeah,
I understand Bukharian a little bit.
Yeah.
But general Russian.
Wow. Yeah. And then where'd you learn the Russian from? What was that inspired?
So that's a funny story that it's funny that you ask me actually. Russian I actually learned in America, not by choice.
Okay.
I went to an old Jewish school, and all my friends here were Russian speaking. My parents speak Russian, but I never cared to learn that because in Israel we just spoke Hebrew. And then I learned Russian from my friends here, which was very weird.
Yeah.
Just learning the language from them.
Wow. Now, let's talk born and raised and where your parents are from. So you said your dad's from Uzbekistan.
He's from Tashkent.
Tashkent.
Yes,
So
which is around that
that's
area.
around that area.
Yeah.
And then mom was Georgian.
Georgian.
And then they immigrated to Israel. And your dad was 7, mom was 3.
Yeah.
And during that period of time, Jews were getting kicked out of their different countries all over across European, Middle East, I would imagine, correct?
Yeah.
And so what was that like for them? As you guys were getting raised, what were some of the stories and things they shared with you?
So my parents don't really remember so much of like their old countries. They do remember a little bit how they grew up, but they mostly remember growing up in Israel. And growing up in Israel, I mean, they both did the army.
Yeah.
So both my parents went to the army. And just war after another war after another war.
Yeah.
As always. It's never ending story over there in the Middle East. And that's it. That's all they really remember.
Yeah. And then when did they meet?
So my parents both got married when they were 18.
Okay.
They're the same age.
Wow.
They got married at 18.
Wow.
Very young.
And so they married at 18. Did they do 2 or 3 years in the IDF?
They actually both got pto because both of my parents are a little bit shorter.
Okay.
So they don't take everybody to the IDF. They do Shirut Lomi and stuff like that, which is like community service.
Yeah.
And then the ones that are qualified to go to the army, they'll take you to the army. If you're not qualified, they just keep you at Shirut Lomi. And
yeah. That's what Gally told me. She was like on the brink of not being able to qualify because she was so small.
Yeah.
So she had to work out and start figuring out her macros and her protein to put on a little bit of muscle, so she was able to qualify.
Yeah.
So after they do the community service, things like that, do they go to college? What does life look like as they start to grow up?
So my mom finished her school. She went for engineering. And then my dad, he didn't go to college. He was a taxi driver. And he did that for many years in Israel. And then my mom ended up having babies.
Yeah.
So she ended up raising us.
Yeah.
And not doing her field. She worked for a little bit, but she didn't do it for too long. And then she had babies, 4 of us, one after the other.
And then when did you guys immigrate or move
to America?
Yeah, move to America.
So we lived in Israel right after the Iraqi war in 91. My parents wanted to leave. So they ended up moving to America. In 92, we came to America. We stayed till 95.
Wow.
And then my parents had to go back to Israel because they had some complications with their house.
Yeah.
They were selling it, so they had to go back to Israel. My brother was born in Israel. So me and my older sister were born in Israel. Okay. We came here. My younger sister, who's younger than me, the third child in the family, she was born in America. And then we moved back to Israel, and my brother was born in Israel.
Wow.
And in 2001. 2001, September of '01.
Yeah.
We came back to America.
Wow.
And that was a week before the Twin Towers fell. So imagine
Yeah.
leaving the Middle East, thinking, okay, we're going to get a better future for our children, come to America, the land of the free.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, the Twin Towers,
Wow.
terror attack. Thousands of people are dying and
Yeah.
smoke everywhere. My dad was just like, did we just come to another war? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And then we were raised in New York. Both my parents worked 3 jobs. It was insane. We barely even seen our parents.
Yeah.
They were working. And then me and my older sister pretty much raised our brothers and sisters.
Wow.
It was just us.
And then as you're going through school and getting into college or after you graduate high school, what was growing up and raising, the family like? What memories do you have? How did that impact you and make you who you are today?
So as a child, when you move to a new country with 4 children, and my parents had to work in order for them to put food on the table because they didn't come here with money.
Yeah.
They came here with what, maybe a couple of $1,000s.
Yeah.
And I remember when we just moved to New York, we lived in my cousin's basement. And the basement was not finished, like a real basement. Like you see like concrete walls and everything. And we were sleeping on the floors for like good 2 weeks. And it was like, whatever. I mean, we were kids, didn't think too much of it, but now thinking about it, going back to it, it's like, how did we even do that? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like today, I can't even imagine putting my kids through that, but my parents had to.
Yeah.
So at that point, and then I remember living in the projects in New York City. Those are not pretty.
Yeah.
So, raising 4 children in the projects and keeping them good, it's not easy. So my mom worked, my dad worked, me and my sister had to cook, had to clean, had to wake up our brothers and sisters to go to school. So you mature up.
Yeah.
You just become an adult really quick. Yeah. I was 12 when I came here, so you become an adult real quick.
Yeah.
I remember working that summer, and I was babysitting for $5 an hour. I made $4,000 that summer. The whole summer I worked. $4,000 for a 12-year-old, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. And I remember with my money, I gave my parents $2,000 so that they could pay bills and whatnot. Yeah. And the rest, me and my brothers and my sisters, we went on a shopping spree. We just bought school supplies and new clothes and everything. It was just like the best experience. But I didn't care to work. I had so much energy. Yeah. Camp? What camp?
Yeah.
I didn't do no camp.
Yeah.
Since we came here, we didn't do that. Like me and my sisters, we didn't do that. But we wanted to make sure that my younger brother and sister had a childhood. They had somewhat of a fun experience, memories.
Yeah.
Throwing parties for them. Oh my God, that was the best part.
Yeah.
And I worked since I was 12.
Yeah.
Always working, always hustling, just because I knew that my parents were not able to give me what I needed.
Yeah.
And I wasn't even going to ask.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why I had common sense to not even ask. No, it's hard for them. We're not going to even ask. We're just going to do, and we're going to take care of the little ones. And that's what me and my sister did.
Now, did you have, I forget what it's called for girls. I know the boys are bar mitzvah. Is it bar or?
Bat mitzvah.
Bat mitzvah.
Yes.
Did you have a bat mitzvah?
So I personally didn't because my grandma passed. So after the Twin Towers fell, my grandmother taught like the whole New York City was down because, they can't communicate.
Yeah.
Phones were not working and everybody was making a big deal. So my grandma took it really, really hard. My dad's mom. Yeah. And she ended up getting sick from it. She got cancer from it. And 2 years later, she passed. So I didn't have a bat mitzvah. Not 2 years, I'm sorry, a couple of months later. Yeah. She passed. And I didn't get to have a bat mitzvah.
Wow. Now, when somebody passes in the Hebrew culture, the Israeli culture, what is it called when somebody passes?
Shiva. So the first 7 days is a Shiva. And then for the whole year, you're kind of like mourning. You're not supposed to be doing any celebration or parties or anything like that. So we did a small like birthday, but we didn't do like a big bat mitzvah.
Yeah. But in the Shiva, do you eat in the first? There's a big food day or no? Yeah.
So you eat, but you don't cook. So the person that's mourning, like immediate family, children, they're the ones that need to mourn. Husband and wife need to mourn on each other. So my dad couldn't even sit on a chair that's too high. They have to be on the ground, kind of.
Yeah.
They rip their shirt. They have to stay on the ground for 7 days. And for a whole 30 days, you can't even like even for, sometimes some people do it for a year. You can't like shave, you can't, like you have to really mourn.
Wow.
Seriously, like mourn.
Yeah.
Like my dad
It's like
grew a
really
beard.
biblical.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember reading in the Old Testament.
It's very serious.
Yeah.
For a whole year, and then you don't celebrate. You can't wear certain colors. If it's too bright, you can't wear it. So, but throughout the years, it's a little bit more modern now.
Yeah.
But my parents are very much religious.
Yeah.
So grew up very religious. I'm not as religious as I used to be.
Yeah.
But I grew up very religious.
Oh, and as the religious, and for me to describe it, maybe I don't mean for it to be offensive. Is it where the men have like the curls?
The payos.
Yeah.
So my family is the Sephardi Jews.
Yeah.
So it's different. The people that do the payos, it's biblical. Yes, you're supposed to have payos. Some Sephardi Jews do have it. Some Ashkenazi Jews have it.
I was gonna say there's Ashkenazi and there's Sephardi. Is there another?
Yeah. There's so many. There's
I was gonna say there's the whole different types of
Hasidic,
groups.
and there's so many. Some of them that I don't even know.
Yeah.
There's also what are they called? Man, I'm getting a blink here. Reform. There's also Reform Jews. There's so many different types of Jews.
Yeah.
But my parents are Sephardi Jews. I grew up Sephardi.
Yeah.
And I grew up in Israel, so I'm more like Israeli, Sephardi, Jewish.
Yeah.
And that's basically it.
Yeah. That's awesome.
You seem to know a lot about Judaism.
A lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So my girl, being Jewish herself and Israeli, like I'm fascinated with cultures. You know what I mean? And then, secondly, I believe like having direct access to a culture or another country, especially when they're war torn or they're all over the news, media can present a lot of propaganda. A lot of fake stuff will be, put out there, or things that are misinterpreted or misconstrued. And so I've always, especially as I've gotten older, of like, I'm not going to believe what the media presents. I would rather have a direct source, or at least an indirect source. And so having my girl who has family in Israel, and then I have friends that are, they have family in Palestine, and they have a different take on things than what the media portrays, of like, oh, this is happening. And it's like, I think the best source of information is who is there. And then there's relevancy to that as well, as like, they might have family there, but like how high up does that family have access to the government in Israel, or whoever is governing in, Middle Eastern countries that are, attacking Israel, or whatever is going on there. So like, I think that would be a piece of advice I'd give people, is be very careful on just, believing anybody. There's going to be biased opinions. And then you have, more importantly, I don't believe anything the news puts out there, unless I look at like, is this a trustworthy person? Is this somebody that I trust and respect? That's why I believe podcasts will completely take over, the news and everything like that, especially this past election. That was won through podcasting. Trump went on so many different podcasts, and that really affected his, ultimately the decision in regard to the election. So, I love cultures. And then, obviously I'm so in love with Galley. So like, it's easy for me to, but I grew up in the Christian church, and all like, we would do a return to Bethlehem every year. So right around this time, they do a return to Bethlehem. So they almost try to recreate what that not only that culture, but Bethlehem looks like, and everybody's saying shalom. So it's so funny, because as a kid, I've been saying shalom, 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 because, every year, my favorite part of the year was, return to Bethlehem, because you go to the church, they've got a bunch of different, like, they got, camels and sheep, and they're dressed up as shepherds, and people are saying shalom, and there's food. And I'm like, oh, this is awesome. And then come to find out, 10 years, 15 years later, I'm about to marry some some girl that's actually from the Israeli, the Hebrew and Jewish culture. So
you need to go visit.
Oh no, we are.
You need to
1,000%. We are.
You're gonna be so amazed. We have everything and anything there.
Yeah, she's
Every
always
culture
so
possible.
Yeah.
We have Jews, we have Muslims, we have Christians.
Yeah.
Everything. They all live in harmony in Israel.
Yeah.
It's just amazing.
Yeah,
It's beautiful.
I love when she's like, you have no idea, like the power and the innovation, the intelligence, and the things that have derived from Israel. She's like, it's like, how America's a melting pot. It's the same exact thing, because like people think like, Israel is like some particular small like group of people, but it's all different groups of people that have branded together and immigrated into this one place. Biblically, it's been around for forever. But according to American history, or just history in general, I think it was established in 1948.
To be honest, I don't even remember.
Yeah, I think it was official. I don't know.
I believe you're right.
Yeah,
I believe you're
Galley
right.
lets me know. But I love culture. I love culture. I love news. I love history. when it's accurate, and finding that accuracy is super hard. So, I like to just talk to people that are from a place. You know what I mean? It's like, what was your history? So
You have to eat a lot of food in Israel when you go.
Oh,
The
I'm so
food
excited.
There is amazing.
Gally makes this PT team. I don't know if I'm saying that
That's
right.
amazing. Team, you said it right.
Okay. Yeah. So PT team, and then
There's so many.
shakshuka.
Oh, shakshuka. My kids love shakshuka.
Love shakshuka. I know this isn't. I don't know if it's from Israel. I think it's more Greek, but I'm going to say it probably more Greek than she says it differently. Baklava. I know she says it differently. Baklava. Yeah, she says it. Yeah, baklava. Yeah, she says it. She's always like, it's not baklava. I love that. I love all of it. I love food. So
Yeah, Israel has everything. You definitely need to go visit.
I didn't know cherry tomatoes were created in Israel. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, the cherry
You
tomato
just
was.
taught me something
Yeah,
new.
the scientist, something like that.
That's
I didn't
amazing.
believe her, and she was like, "Look it up," and I looked. I was like, "Oh,
That's
crazy."
amazing. That's amazing. I came here when I was very young, so I am not too familiar with the history because
Yeah.
I came here when I was 12, so I'm more like Americanized.
Now, did you do bar mitzvahs for your younger siblings?
So my brother and my sister both had. My sister had a bat mitzvah, and my brother had a bar mitzvah, a big
Yeah.
one. It was very nice.
Yeah.
We go crazy in our parties.
What age does that happen?
Boys are 13.
Okay.
Girls are 12,
Okay.
and they just it's a very big deal for boys.
Yeah.
For girls, not as much. It's for girls. It's just a party. They don't have to read from the Torah.
Yeah.
And
now, will your
boys
son do the bar mitzvah next year then? So he's
So
12
my
now.
oldest is going to be 13 in 2026.
Okay, in
So
2026.
his bar mitzvah is going to be March of 2026.
When do you start planning? What does that
Now,
look like?
he has to practice his parsha, which is he has to read
Read from the Torah. Yeah.
So he has to practice it. He has to memorize it because he has to read it
Yeah.
verbatim
Yeah.
in front of everybody and
Yeah.
with certain melody.
Yeah.
Obviously, different cultures. Different, like if it's Ashkenazi or Sephardi, they have different melodies.
Yeah.
So there's different melodies that he has to learn. So he has to learn when to pick it up, when to
Yeah.
lower it. So he has to do that. So he's getting ready right now. He's excited.
Can you is it like a test? Can you fail your bar mitzvah?
It's not a test. It's just practice.
Yeah.
You just have
and
to keep
taking
practicing.
pride in it. Because
Yes.
it's not like a birthday. It's like a celebration of coming to
In adulthood.
a new level.
Yeah,
Okay, in
you're
adulthood.
now not a kid anymore.
Yeah.
You're responsible now. You're an adult a little bit. So it's like bar mitzvah. It's a serious
Yeah.
thing.
Now, from your perspective, what will be your favorite piece of your son's bar mitzvah?
I guess him reading the Torah the right way. It's
Yeah.
so prideful.
Yeah.
It's like for parents. I don't know, for me at least.
Yeah.
I know that I'm gonna be so emotional. I'm
Yeah.
gonna cry because it's just like I'm thinking about it
Yeah.
and I'm about to be emotional. But
Yeah.
it's a very special thing. It's just kind of like having a circumcision
Yeah.
and a brit, So
Yeah.
like the first mitzvah they do, which is a good thing, the mitzvah. So the first thing they do is after 8 days they have a brit.
What's mitzvah stand for?
Mitzvah is a
Celebrate?
good deed.
Good deed.
So like anything good that you're doing, I'm
Yeah.
sure there's another definition for it, and I'm
Yeah.
not using the right definition, but it's like when you're doing something good.
Mm-hmm.
It's called a mitzvah.
Okay.
And avera is when you're doing something bad.
Yeah.
So
Avera.
it's the first mitzvah that they're doing when they're
Okay.
doing the brit, and then their second mitzvah is their bar mitzvah.
Yeah.
It's like a big, major mitzvah.
Is there any other mitzvahs?
Oh, there's so many. 300 and what is it? 613 mitzvahs actually that men need to do.
Wow.
613, including praying every morning,
Yeah.
using the tefillin. And this is one thing also
I've
my
seen
son is
the
going to start
the
doing that.
black, it looks almost like a tape.
It's leather,
Okay, it's leather.
and there's special prayers inside of it.
Mm-hmm.
And the men put it on their head and in their right hand because it's close to the heart. So you should
Yeah.
have God in your mind and in your heart.
Yeah.
And when they're doing it, there's specific reasons of why they do the numbers of turns that they do. I'm not too familiar with the reasons, but
Yeah.
my husband could probably tell you.
Yeah.
But they pray 3 times a day. So like there's so many different
Wow.
things that men need to do. Women don't have to do as many mitzvot, but men
Yeah.
do.
Now, what do you think from your son's perspective? What do you think will be his favorite part of his bar mitzvah?
The party,
The party.
for sure.
Yeah.
The party.
Is there any specific food or specific part of the party? Is it, or just in general?
Just the party itself, the planning, the preparing. Because
Yeah.
there's the bar mitzvah itself is a big deal. So there's first the Torah reading,
Yeah.
and then there is the Shabbat
Yeah.
that he also has to read on Shabbat, and then there's the actual party And then it's just like a couple of days of celebration. It's not like all in one day. Some of them do it all in one day. Some of them do it in a couple of days. I really wanted to take Eitan to Israel, but with everything that's happening, I don't know if I will be able to the Kotel, to the Western Wall. So I don't know if we'll be able to, but hopefully it cools off there and we'll probably go there.
Yeah. Now the Kotel, where is that like located in regard to geography?
Yerushalayim, Jerusalem.
Okay, it's in Jerusalem.
Yeah.
Yerushalayim.
Yeah.
Right?
Yerushalayim.
Yerushalayim. I like that. Okay, so wow, a lot of culture. Now diving back into more of your story as you are graduating high school. Do you go to college?
So I wanted to go to college.
Yeah.
I wasn't. My parents had issues with documents.
Yeah.
So they came here on a visa, like they won their green card visa and all that fun stuff. So they ended up having like issues with their papers. The lawyer took their money, ran away.
Yeah.
We had our social security number. My parents had working papers, but I didn't have any legal status.
Yeah.
So I had to pay for college myself.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to take student loans.
Yeah. Smart.
I wasn't going to do that. My older sister ended up going to college, but her husband paid for it. She was married at that time.
Yeah.
Me, I was just like, you know what, I'll go first semester. I went, I paid for it. And then I said, I don't know, I'm not going to learn social studies. And so I ended up doing nails because I was doing nails since I was 14.
Yeah.
And I was very good at it.
Yeah.
So I ended up just getting my license and doing nails. And I opened my nail salon. It was very successful.
Yeah.
Had a lot of clients. I mean, I worked from 9 a.m. to 12 o'clock at night, like midnight.
Wow.
Just clients up the wazoo.
Yeah.
Thank God. I mean, it is what it is. I remember when I started with nails, it was just for fun, practicing on my friends. Like, hey, let's just do it, practice on you. And then it became a thing. They're like, oh, I like how you do it. Can you do it for me? And then I started charging. Started with $15 to do their set of nails all the way up to like 100 and something when I became, very successful in it. Did nails for a very long time. I even secured a contract with a Victoria's Secret.
Okay.
So did that. That was fun. Very exciting thing. And then I got married with Shalom at age 21.
Okay.
And when we got married, we had our first son. And then Shalom was kind of finding himself with work. What is he going to do? What is he going to do? Because he kind of lost his job, so he didn't know what he was going to do. And then he bumped into American Income Life.
Yeah.
At that time, Nilico in New York. And when he started doing Nilico, he would work so many hours. Oh my God, I would barely even see him.
Yeah.
I just got married, just had a baby. Don't even see my husband. I was like, what is this? Am I a single mom?
Yeah.
That's not going to work out. Like, we got to change something.
Yeah.
So it was either he quits his job or I just changed my career to his career.
Yeah.
So I ended up closing my shop. I sold it and ended up doing Nilico.
Yeah.
Started doing Nilico when I was 24.
Wow.
And did it part-time because my clients did not want to let me go.
Yeah, yeah.
They would still come to my house and I would take clients at home.
Yeah.
So I just did Nilico part-time, did my kids, raised my kids, and also had nails on the side. So pretty much did a lot of things
you're juggling.
during that time. And then we moved to Georgia and everything changed.
Wow.
Everything changed. When we moved to Georgia, we just cold turkey. I gave up on the nails because all my clients were in New York. I said, I'm not going to start a new client base. There's no point. And I focused 100% in American Income Life.
Wow.
And that's when I started getting all my success.
And you guys start making more money, you start doing more, you start growing, and then, as
Popping
you
babies.
start making babies and building up your careers, what does that lead to now as you reflect on the last couple of years? What are some of the highlights and things that you're most proud of? And some of the lessons too.
I'm very proud that I didn't use my children as an excuse. A lot of people use, oh, babies, I have kids. I can't do this, I can't do that. I don't think that ever was a reason for me to not be successful.
Yeah.
It actually motivated me to do more. It motivated me to push more, push harder. And I didn't stop having the kids because of a career, because of a job.
Yeah.
Like, it was always like, hey, I could juggle both, and I'm going to test myself to be able to juggle both.
Yeah.
And just did it. That's the best part, I think, the best part. Because if you ask my kids today, if they remember me being away and being in the field until the wee hours of the night, they'll tell you no.
Yeah.
But are they happy that they have a nice big size pool in their backyard, and they all have their own room, and they have a big movie theater room and all that fun stuff, and they have a condo in Florida. Very happy.
Yeah.
But they don't remember the
Yeah.
sacrifice and the time away from them and the sleep. Oh my God, crying myself to bed because I would think that I'm such a horrible mom.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for Shalom supporting me, I wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah.
He was my rock. He definitely stood there and told me, babe, we're doing this for the kids.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to give up every day. I was like, nope, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not doing it anymore. I want to take care of my kids. But he said, no, you got this. You got this. We got this. We're going to do this.
Yeah.
And we just did it.
You
We
guys,
just did it.
you know, Gally and I always talk, we love your guys' love and how you guys have built this, you know, this incredible business and life together. And it's just super admirable as we begin our journey on, you know, building a business and building a life together. You know, we look at, you know, couples, you know, like yourself for, you know, inspiration and, you know, almost in a sense, I guess, mentorship as well, like what went well and what didn't go well. So it's like, as there's, you know, people that are listening that are looking to get into a business relationship, and what I mean by that is like they're looking to marry a partner that they can build a business with, what would be your advice on what to do and what not to do?
That's a very good question. So one thing I would say is communicate with each other. Have an open line of communication and understanding of what your plans are. Because when everything is clear, there's no confusions, right? It's kind of like when we're building a game plan for our agents.
Yeah.
Same thing. You got to game plan your life. This is where we see each other in X, Y years.
Yeah. This
is where we see each other this quarter, that quarter. Same thing. You got to treat it like that as well. But communication, definitely. And this is maybe for the ladies. Don't try to be the man in the relationship. You're not the man in the relationship.
Yeah.
You got to know your place. You're the woman, and he's the man. And let him feel like the man at all times. So this is for the woman in the relationship.
Yeah.
For the man, just take care of your girl. She'll take care of you. Take care of your girl. She'll take care of you mentally, physically, spiritually, everything. Just take care of them.
Yeah.
Just let them feel secured. Let them feel like, okay, I'm here. I got you. Because there's days that I wake up and I'm like, oh my God, I'm stressed. I can't do this. And my husband just pushes me and he's like, babe, you got this. I believe in you. We got this. We're going to work this out. Nothing is going to, be the end of the world.
Yeah.
Just keep pushing. If anything, we're going to work it out together.
Yeah.
And just constant communication.
Fire.
Don't keep secrets. Secrets are not good for anybody. If you feel a certain way, talk about it. Don't yell at each other. Don't scream at each other. Talk about it.
Yeah.
You guys are partners. You gotta communicate.
Yeah. I read something this morning and it said, don't raise your voice, improve your argument.
Yeah.
And it was just super conflicting. You know what I mean? Because I was like, sometimes I can notice myself just being, a young man. And I think just men in general, you know what I mean? I think sometimes, we'll be more testosterone. So we're more likely to get maybe loud. And it's like, you don't need to get loud if you have a winning argument or a strong argument. So, I think that's good for me to apply to myself and others out there. If you can relate, it's like, you don't have to get loud.
No.
If you have a strong argument.
Yep.
You typically get loud when you have a weak argument. So,
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, you don't have to get loud. Yeah. It's the same thing with kids too. You don't have to get loud with them.
Yeah.
Just
take their TV
take
away.
their TV away.
Yeah.
Take their PlayStation
No iPad,
away.
no phone.
And they're like, oh my God, it's the
Then
end
they'll
of
get
the
loud.
world.
Yeah.
That's okay. When you calm down, we could talk about it.
Yeah.
It's very simple. When you calm down, we could talk about it. But, in the beginning, it wasn't easy. Every relationship has their...
Yeah. It has its quirks. It has its seasons. And anybody that I've heard with a long-lasting, relationship, it's like over-communicate, being honest, be supportive of one another, compromise, but realizing there's not
Don't
gonna be
listen to anybody
Yeah.
else's opinion.
Yeah.
They don't know your relationship.
Yeah. They don't have your
Not
love.
even your parents. I love my parents to death.
Yeah.
I love my in-laws to death. But they don't know our relationship.
That's
so
good.
Just keep it between you and your husband.
That's good.
Don't tell anybody your
biz.
No.
Yeah. The deep business stays the deep business.
Only good news.
Yeah.
Don't give him bad news. Only good news. Everything is peachy. Everything is good.
Yeah.
Bad news, you settle
Work
with
out
each
together.
other. That's it.
That's so good.
It's very important.
Yeah.
It's very important because other people could give you the wrong advice, not because they don't care for you. They love you. They care for you.
Yeah.
But they
Based
don't
off
understand.
how they would handle it or based off their desires. That's really good.
And your emotion for that moment. Like if you're sharing a bad thing with another person, you're very emotional in that moment. Like you just,
Yeah.
sometimes you might say the wrong thing and it's not even the whole story, right?
Yeah.
You might
Yeah.
sugarcoat it or not sugarcoat it, right? So you want to make sure that you keep it between you and your husband. I mean, the good thing about me and Shalom is we keep everything between us. Everything.
Tight.
Everything. It's between
Gangster
me and him.
community.
Yep.
Jewish gangsters. I always mess with Gally on that. I was like, my wealth in life is 10x since she came into my life. So,
And we do everything together. I mean, literally, if my husband has a business idea, babe, what do you feel? How do you think? Do you think it's going to be a good idea? And we just go with it.
I love that.
If it's a good idea, let's do it. We got this.
What's the future plans and vision? What's the next couple of years look like? What's on your mind? What's on your heart and soul?
Definitely for me to become an SGA.
Yeah.
That's number one goal.
Yeah.
That's number one. So that's the first goal for me, because I wanna have something that's mine.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm an SGA or whatnot, but I earned it. I want to get it. Why not? And then for Shalom, there's a lot. So obviously he's doing most of the work.
Yeah.
And for him is making sure that the call center is good. Got to build that. We got to make sure that we get into other businesses as well. So we're looking into other things right now, real estate, other stuff right now. So we're looking into a few things that we're going to do in the future, but some things I don't want to share yet because I don't want to jinx it. So, you know, you want to keep it to yourself.
What is this thing? Gally sometimes will like knock on wood and say something.
Bilay na nga.
Yeah. What is that?
Without a bad eye.
Yes.
You know, in the Torah it says you don't want to say something before it's done.
Yeah.
Like don't speak too soon.
Yeah.
Just work on it quietly. Do what you got to do.
Yeah.
And once you're there, everybody will know.
How do you say it?
Siyag lechokhma shtika.
Oh, okay. Siyag lechokhma.
For all my Hebrew speakers, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you guys know. It's going to take me a year to get that one done.
Siyag lechokhma shtika. It's like
Siyag mashtika.
Yes.
Something along those
Gali
lines.
will tell you what it means.
She does it, you know, because we're dreamers. We're, you know, constantly vision casting, but she'll throw that in there sometimes. Like, you know what I mean? Or if I make a joke and I'm like, oh, you know, that's dead or something like that, she'll knock on something and be like, oh, no, you know what I mean? Say something. So,
words are powerful.
super powerful.
Very powerful. It's energy.
We can't walk down the road and like, we can't split a pole. She's like, that's bad luck. We can't walk underneath something. That's bad luck. Something like that.
Words are powerful. You want to make sure you watch what you say and how you say it.
Yeah.
And just really, really be mindful of the energy around you.
Yes.
Because energy is powerful too.
Yes.
People, energy.
Yeah.
It's all important.
Yes.
Don't keep negativity around you. Don't keep negative energy around you. You know, it's very important. And in Judaism, we learn that too. It's very important. That's why they say, you know, you want to always do good things, which is chesed, right? So you want to do good things because when you do chesed, people bless you.
Yeah.
When you don't do chesed, people envy you.
Yeah.
Chesed is like good deeds.
Good. Yeah, I said.
You know,
Yeah.
and give tzedakah, which is charity. Very important to do charity.
Yeah, good. This is, if anybody that watches this is just going to learn the Jewish culture in
A little bit, not too much.
a small amount in a half hour. So where can people find you? They want to work with you. They want to learn from you. They want to work with you in Shalom. Where can people find you?
You can definitely find me on my Instagram. That's Tami Chaimov. You could also find me on our website, which is ailofmo.com. And that's the Chaimov organization.
Let's go. Incredible episode. One of my favorite. You guys know I love culture so much, especially when it hits home. You know what I mean? So shout out to Tami and shout
Welcome
out to
to our
Shalom.
culture.
Thank you. So guys, have a blessed day, and please go check out Tami Chaimov. So
Thank you all.
have a great day. Peace.